30. Ooh. Throw it up every day. What is when it's your girl Juice? Oh, you ready, Zemi?
Yeah.
Are you prepared, Zemi?
Why would you say throwing up every day? Because you turn it 30. That's why I'm confused. Wait, let's go.
This is the intro. What is when it's your girl Juice back with another episode. Or why I like me at the podcast. I'm here with my girl
Zemi.
and also with my girl
Jamil.
And you may know Jamil's voice, but you finally see her face. And she was on episode 18, and I put a clip in of the best part that she ever said.
Not that part.
Come on now.
I got a full-time job now.
Did he graduate?
He did.
Okay. Did he graduate? That was the question.
He probably knows the story though.
He watched my story every day.
Anyway,
Dedicated.
the last time she was on here, you heard her talk about how she dropped old boy from his classes. So from
That's the clip she was gonna put in.
you know that she's good with computers and tech. So she's gonna tell us a little bit about that and what she does for her career.
And scamming. She do PPP.
For legal purposes, my job has nothing to do with either one of those. It took zero technical skill to do that, and I do not scam off the PPP. My daddy did, though.
Oh.
Okay, not put his information out there.
You better be happy I ain't called the police.
All right, let's get into it. So first, just tell us what your job title is and just the basics of what you do at your job.
Okay. I'm a systems engineer. I'm a pre-sales systems engineer. So I work on the sales side, but I cover, like my team is it's always like a pair of 2 or maybe 3 people. I have an alignment with an account manager. So I handle the technical side. We have customers because my company sells cybersecurity products and stuff. And so obviously people come to us to look for cybersecurity solutions. I handle all the technical talk between our customers, whatever issues they have that they're trying to solve. If I propose a solution, like how does that work for them? How does it fit in their network? Can they actually make that work? Does the solution actually work for what they need it to? So we might do evaluations and stuff like that. I help out with all of that on our core side. We have a couple other areas that I don't specialize in. So I have extra team members who help out with that. But then I have my counterpart, my account manager, who handles all the sales stuff. So the numbers, the money, all the deal stuff, he handles. And we just kind of collaborate together to bring the money in, but also make sure our customers are taken care of on their security front.
So, with that being said, how long would a project typically take?
It depends. So the business is cut up into segments. I cover healthcare accounts, which right now falls under enterprise size accounts, which are, there's a customer account for it or a user account for it that delegates where they fall, whether it's enterprise, it's commercial, which is a little bit smaller, whether it's small and medium businesses, which is smaller than that. We got SLED accounts, which covers education, government, things like that, public sector. In my role in enterprise size accounts, it generally takes a little bit longer because they have to, you got to go through the whole budget cycle and stuff, the full sales cycle. They got to prove why they need certain money, get their budget approval, see if they actually want to spend it with us. Some things can move extremely quick, like if they already got the money, they know they want it, or they see it and it's like, okay, cool, that works, they could buy it. It could be a week, it could be a couple months. Some stuff could take a year. Some stuff I'm planning for now, I probably won't see anything happen until the end of the year. Some stuff, it hit my email today and it's like, we need this done as soon as possible.
Oh, hell no.
So typically, how many customers or accounts do you handle at one time on average?
I have 45 or 50. Again, it depends on the... That's low though. It depends on the account. If it's bigger accounts, like our majors and stuff like that, then they probably have somewhere around 5, maybe 3. Me, I got around 45, 50. The smaller the accounts get, the more you're going to have. So some people can have hundreds of accounts. Mm-hmm. And some people also have more than one account manager. I just have one, so I have the same accounts that he does. If you have 2, then you have all the accounts that both of them have. So it flexes depending on what part of the business you're in. But me personally, I got about 50.
So I know you said it's cybersecurity products. Exactly what kind of products are you selling?
Firewalls, endpoint security, cloud security, anything like perimeter security. I mean, everything in cybersecurity is. I'm not gonna say everything because my company does not necessarily cover everything, but like that, our bread and butter is firewalls. Is what we came into the game for. Is what we're known for. It's we do it extremely well. We're we're the best. But everything, and we're good in everything else. Like we are very good in everything else too. I focus in firewalls. I focus on perimeter security. I focus on data center security, things like that. But like I said, I have those extra teams that come in and help me out when we doing the tech talk, because obviously I focus on one thing. They have the depth of knowledge in our cloud security and our endpoint and SOC security stuff. So I know base level, and then they come in with all the deep stuff. But we got a lot. We have a pretty nice size product base.
So what are the requirements to even get a job like that?
That's sticky for me to say because I came in through our academy.
Yeah.
So, and the academy was designed just to train you to be an SE. So I went through what was supposed to be, it went from 18 months of training to a year of training, but still that's a year that was dedicated straight to training. And my qualifications for that was just, I came from some kind of technical background because my degree is in IT and I specialize in cybersecurity, but we also had people who did information systems. We had some people who did computer science, some folks were engineering, some people didn't, they maybe got thrown into a job that was something technical and they wanted to make a slight career change into cybersecurity. And so we took career change people in there too. So the academy was a little bit more flexible in what all they were looking for, but it was definitely like, the drive to get into cybersecurity they were looking for, and just like the willingness to learn, because cyber changes almost on a daily basis. Like even at the company alone, every couple weeks, months, like it's something new that I need to learn and be on top of because it just changes so rapidly. So that willingness to learn and just having the slight technical background was a huge boost. Outside of like the academy, I would say still that technical background, especially like if you just do like a minor technical job like help desk or something like that, IT for a company, even still the degree, because you don't have to go through an academy to get into the role that I'm in now. You can get hired, off the street with a degree. It's gonna take you a minute to adjust. I had the year to help me adjust, but yeah, it's a lot of ways to get in there.
Do you have to refer to get to an academy, or do you just go online to get in an academy?
It's a regular application. Anybody can apply to get in. We do take referrals. I have referred people, and I mean that makes it a little bit easier for them because obviously I work with the people who are going through the applications and stuff, so they can come and ask me, this person,
right.
Like let's talk about it. My company itself is really big on like team. We're big on people. Like you gotta be able to, mesh with team. Right. We look for good personality, so that's always like a bonus of if I know this person, then I can talk to how they work with other people and stuff like that. But application is open to anybody. You don't have to have any direct attachment to the company already. It is competitive, so it's like, of course, obvious, like that means the referral boosts you up. It is a competitive role to get into, but no, we post it all over LinkedIn. They send it to us and be like flooded out there. I graduated from Georgia Southern. I go back to Georgia Southern and I share it with my professors there. Like, if you think anybody would be good, it would be a good fit, let me know, and we can try to slide them in here. So
you be looking like a military recruiter after a while.
For real.
No, I know your future. You got a future.
No, for real. Especially after this last cohort that just started in August. I got 3 folks. I referred 3 folks, and all 3 of them got hired. And I was like, yes.
Congratulations on that. That's
starting
big.
a new job. I'll try again. I'm gonna fly again because they gonna hire me.
So now, like, okay, so we all watch like TikTok constantly. So,
I don't.
Not so.
It's okay.
So you may not know this, but there's been like a huge craze about breaking into tech. And so as a black woman who already is in tech, and now they have Afro tech, people are giving information about fintech, pretty much having education tech, all those things, and how to get people in. But the issue is you know, we're trying to do certifications. We may not have that degree. We may not have certain things that particularly you may have because you're stacked up in, you know, background and skills and stuff like that. And, hey. Well,
girl, I had to fight for my life to get that degree.
But you did it. You still got the background, so they'd be like, okay, she went to school and da da da. Compared to an average Joe, like it says, like Zemi
I have no knowledge
about,
because when people used to ask me what you study, what you do, I said something with computers. I don't know. I have no idea.
So what are some tips for somebody who, you know, don't have the same background as you, like to somewhat get into like the technical field or even a non-technical field, but still in the
somewhere in the tech realm? Okay. Yeah, I say if you don't got the time, money to go to a 4-year college, you don't need it. Like I did it. I love the college experience and obviously it was valuable. My professors were huge and like giving me that jump and everything because they connected me in different ways. They kind of pushed the skills, but you can get the same level of education that I got in a 2-year program at Central Georgia Tech, or go to Middle Georgia. They got shorter programs you can do for less price. You still get the paper saying like you've done this. You have the skill set behind you, and even like with that, let's say you don't want to do that. Tech is really big on experience and your willingness to keep gaining that experience. So a big thing is if it's like if you are tech savvy and you just do tech stuff on your own. Like I know folks who just, you know, wanted to build computers and build out, you know, labs at home and stuff. That is huge experience. Like that stuff that we do at work just to get better. So you already doing that. That stuff that you list. Like a lot of people leave stuff like that off of their resumes. And it's like, no, I don't care if it wasn't a real job. I don't care if it wasn't like it was just a personal project. You list that because that shows, A, you took the initiative to get up and do it. But also, like, you have no background in the schooling or nothing like that, so you're self-taught, and you were able to pull this off. And that'll get you in the door with the interview, and now it's like, okay, let's talk about it. And generally, they're more looking for, you know, okay, they talking about it, now they're talking about it passionately. Right. Like, they were actually really into this. Let's say you're not the most tech-savvy person in the world to start off with, you know, you just kind of like, you know, that's a good avenue. It might be a little bit cushier, you know, a little bit more money. So you start looking at different things. That's where those 2-year programs start to come back into play. There's also a lot of organizations that will start you in it. Like one of them I'm in Women in Cybersecurity, which they are huge on getting women into tech in general. It says Women in Cybersecurity, but it's like we cover a lot. We focus in cyber, but we cover a lot. Same thing with Women in Technology. I was in that in school. I'm getting actively back into it now that I'm back here in Georgia. But even them, I mean, they have a single mothers program where you're a single mother, you have no tech background, but you know you want to make that jump because it means a better life for you. Yeah. There are programs like that will, you know, teach you all of that, get you in there. So look at the organizations that are out there, get in them, get active, find a mentor. A mentor will, you know, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, I can get you in here. You know, so it's that kind of involvement. And then small stuff on top of it, like go on YouTube and watch, you know, some Network Plus training videos. And that way on your resume and stuff, you can list, I have some background networking knowledge. And it don't matter where you got it from. Yeah. When you get into the interview, that's where you talk about it. That's where you vouch for you and you vouch for yourself and you vouch for your knowledge. Like, it don't have to come from, you know, a degree or nothing like that. It has to just show, like, you have the knowledge and you got it from somewhere. Now, that's not to say that people will just hire you because you got the knowledge. Some places do require a degree, and I'm a little bit iffy about that because, like I said, it don't require a degree. So there will be some places that kind of got you blocked off because you don't have a degree or whatever, or a degree related to IT. But there also might be ways around that depending on what the job is. And this is just in general, not just for my company. This is, obviously, I was looking at jobs for a minute before. Like, I had to look at internships and stuff like that before I went looking for the full role and got this one.
And even for me, like, I have an associate's in IT. But I think what I did to get some of close conversations. I never really got interviews, but I got close conversations with people. Is the fact that when it's in the education part of your resume, when I start talking about that I have an associate right there, I emphasize the certain parts of what I got, of the certain skills that I learned. Like I learned Cisco, about switches and routers. It's okay, take a back shoot. Been a little hungry. Like then you be like, yeah, I took some classes to get an A+ prep for come to A+, and some things you'd be like, oh, I looked at security plus certain things, and you just map that out. Now I did that, and you get some conversations, but you know,
I would even break it down further than that. Like the security plus network plus, they cover so much information.
Yeah.
If you don't go and get the full cert, then because them certs are expensive, and like if you don't get it the first time, you're not going to pay for it the second time. I'm not even
300, 400.
Yeah, I'm not doing that, and because I don't know if I'm gonna pass it the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm not paying $600. So, but even with that, it's like, okay, you did the full course material just to study for it.
Mm-hmm.
That means you have routing knowledge, you have switching knowledge, you got all types of background and knowledge. You only got to put, oh, I studied for the network plus, because that'll. Like, I want to back up a little bit. I used to do resume writing and editing when I was in school.
I see you, my paper girl.
Yeah, I was
$60.
The organization I was in, like, of course, it was I was in WIT, and that meant like just making sure that women who were trying to get out into STEM, not just IT but STEM in general, that they were able to position themselves for their internships and jobs and stuff. And that was one of the things. A lot of times, people kind of sell themselves short, especially women. And I'm not gonna go on like no women, rant or nothing like that. But I mean, it's been proven women won't go for jobs they don't fit. 80% or whatever the number was of all the qualifications. A man will go if he got 25%. He like, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah.
And that's why they get the jobs. That's not why they get the jobs, but that's part of it. They kind of boost themselves up like that. But also, like, in the resume realm, a lot of people always say, lie on your resume. I'm not telling you to lie on your resume. Don't put nothing on your resume that you can't talk about for at least a few minutes. And even if it's like something smaller, like, oh, you kind of touched it, but like AWS, I used it in school, few assignments, we had to learn it. My resume says exposure to AWS, not AWS expert, none of that. Exposure to AWS. But I mean, that alone, it's like, okay, that brings up in the conversation, like, what's the extent of that exposure?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, I went in and did X, Y, and Z. Like, that's a whole conversation right there. But like, when you break down, like, take every little thing you've done and you break it down, because that's a skill. If you have helped, reset some routers and stuff, you have some routing experience, because you got some understanding of how it works and why you needed to reset it to get whatever you was trying to work. Right. Like you got to break down those big things. Like, people get sometimes stuck on the big words again, like a CCNA or a network plus or the security plus and stuff, and those are good. But not every company wants those. Not every company needs those. Yeah. That's just like me. If you're going to look at my LinkedIn, I'm stacked up with certifications from my job. Because in the academy, we get all that, We need that it kind of says I'm proficient in our products, and that's my validation for that. But if I go somewhere else, if they don't use my company's products, that don't mean anything unless they trying to use me for competitive information, So it's like, if they don't use Security Plus, then my Security Plus doesn't necessarily matter to them. Like, if they don't care about the content in it, doesn't necessarily matter. But if you take the Security Plus name out of there, and you go, I have these skills that you learned from studying in the Security Plus, that changes the conversation. Because now you can apply those skills to their business, and they're not looking at just, we don't really use the Security Plus fundamentals or nothing like that.
Gotcha.
And everywhere will train you. Like, there is zero way that you are going to walk into any technical role and they are not going to train you. Because, like, with tech, you have to understand how they work, how their stuff works. You have to understand the processes, which means you have to be trained. The length of that training may change, like, may vary. Obviously, my training was for a year. Some people may get trained, like, when we get new SCs or whatever, their training may last, a few months. We have a full boot camp that people go through. Yeah. You gonna get trained. You can walk in and not know nothing about our company, get the same role that I'm in right now, not the academy, but my full-time role, and they gonna give you part of the same training I got, not as in depth, But as long as you know, done got some of that technical background from watching them videos, reading some of the guides and stuff like that, you know, you got the basics and the fundamentals. Okay, boom, now they're going to teach you everything you need to know about your job. And you get that in a few months, and you sure it's
going to apply today.
Right now. What you talking about?
Yeah,
at least I can get on the computer. Hey, send me your resume. I'm finna copy that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm making it sound really simple because like part way it is, but like you said, it's hard to break into tech. Like there are so many jobs open in tech, and it's baffling as to why there are so many open when there are so many like ways to get into them.
So what's your theory about that though?
Is that
they're just doing it because, you know, the government may say, hey, you need to have these many, or the company may say you need this many.
No, nobody wants open recs.
Yeah.
Nobody wants, especially like if you think about that now reflects badly on like the HR or on the company because it's like, why you got so many open roles? Why nobody want to work here?
Right.
And I work at my company. I love working at my company, you know. I think they're phenomenal. It's going to take a lot for them to drag me out of there.
So, so what are, like, the benefits of, like, because I see how people be like, I'm breaking into tech, I make 6 figures, I have all the luxury life, I'm in Cancun and going to Dubai tomorrow. Now, this bitch be on planes all goddamn time. For real. So she made this shit look real. So, but, like, give me the real tea of, like, you don't have to tell me how much you make or anything like that, but just give me a ballpark of like what somebody could make in your company.
Now, this is me personally. I can't speak for no other company. I'm not 100% sure about other roles. I know my role when I was coming in, I started at 6 figures. I will.
That day you text me a bond, you was like, "Oh, my salary gonna be this." I said, "A year." Let me apply.
I'm out here pitching pennies and she's making them
real.
It was. I mean, they pay you for they pay you for the knowledge and the time you put in. And again, like I was coming into an academy.
Yeah. That
was their investment. If they do me right and they put all this time into helping me learn what they do to do my job like properly and everything, I'm making them money. I'm on a sales team.
Right.
Like I am technical and I do have to get very technical at times. Like if it goes way too deep that I feel like, okay, nah, I'm gonna need somebody a little bit more knowledgeable than me. We have those resources and stuff, but it's like I'm being paid for my experience and they're investing in themselves. And believe it or not, I am underpaid. Like that's so how the academy worked was we did the year of training.
Get her coins.
We did the year of training and then you get hired out into another role in the company.
Yeah.
And I work full time for both of them, but then this one that I'm in now, I have my own accounts and I have the responsibility of the sales and stuff. I have a sales quota that I need to meet every year.
Yeah.
I get commission. Like part of my pay is commission based. And I can go over my commission, you know, and I can absolutely not make my commission if I don't do my job, you know, or if, you know, stuff just don't line up. But, dang, my ADHD kicked in. I forgot I was going with that. Oh. But, so when I was looking for my new role, you know, I had the option of whatever in the United States that was open. And I still had to interview for them. Like I interviewed with teams, I interviewed with the managers. I interviewed with like the account managers, everything. Like I did interview processes and stuff. It was a little bit easier because they obviously knew coming from the academy, I had the knowledge because they knew what our curriculum was. So that made it just a little bit easier on the technical side, but still it's, do you fit with the team? Like how do we feel? Like things like that. So I was looking for the roles and stuff and I'm looking at one of them that I actually applied for and most of the time they don't post the salary in the description, and there's a reason for that. There's definitely a reason for that. I get it, because they get 20 times more applicants, and they won't be qualified. They just see the pay.
Yeah.
But I saw the starting pay for the role that I'm in now, and I just recently got a raise, so now I'm a little bit closer, but I'm still not at what the starting pay was for somebody who walked off the street.
Gotcha.
So I'm underpaid for what I'm in, but that's only because it's like, okay, we just spent a year investing in you. You gotta get that money back in a bit.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm also like, I just came out of college. I never thought I'd be making this much money, not this soon.
Yeah.
Like this, even my I got my pay raise and it was like y'all, okay, now I actually gotta do my job because y'all actually putting money into this. Like y'all paying me now.
So a good question is that, okay, so now that you're making that amount of money, like, how does that actually make you feel? Is it really like more money, more problems, or is it more like I feel more stable in my life, or?
It's almost 50-50. It depends on what I'm doing. If I'm paying bills, it's more money, more problems. Because I moved to Texas for the academy role, and I was getting paid, the starting figures that I was getting paid. And still was like, okay, yeah, I'm making 6 figures. That's cool. And I can afford this stuff. But it was like, dang, rent come up, and rent in Texas not that cheap. So I was paying my rent, and it was like, dog, like, I don't see how people do this and they make less than me, and I still feel like, I need to find the money somewhere or whatever. But it was also like, I was thinking that, but I never had to not do something.
Right.
Like you said, if I wanted to go somewhere and get on a flight, I booked the flight and I went. I had the money for it. But yeah, it's also like, I got up yesterday morning and I'm getting a new apartment, so I was looking for some stuff I wanted to, buy.
Yeah.
And I could, I spent $300 on the Amazon cart at 8 a.m. when I woke up, rolled up, and felt like spending money. So it was like, I try to, I'm frugal. I don't like spending money. So even having more money, like the more money I see in my account, the less I want to spend it. So it pisses me off when I have to. But whatever I want to buy,
you still treat yourself.
Right. It's never, like, I like to eat. Like, if you look at my statements, I'm never going to miss a meal if I'm hungry. And I'm going to go and eat. I take myself out to dinner and I swipe my card for $100 for me. So it's like, that I enjoy being able to do. But it's also like that, I still have to worry about the weight of the role. Make sure I am actually doing my job, Even coming from the academy, it's still stuff I'm trying to figure out. And so I'm constantly like, dang, like, am I doing my job right? Am I being effective? Being on the sales team, obviously, like my contribution is weighted, right. And am I making my sales and stuff, And meanwhile, my role typically goes up until they agree that the solution is good. That's my job, is to get them to agree that the solution will work for them. They are pleased. Everything after that is all making the figures and the time work, and that goes to my account manager. I'm there for all of it, but it's not on me. But it's like, I have to make sure we get that technical soundness. And it's like, I look at my paycheck and I'm like, I need to make sure I'm doing this right. They're investing in me still. They are paying me to do this. And so it's like a little bit of the pressure there. But I got a supportive team. My manager calling for anything. So I don't really have to worry about that much. I got folks who still mentor and train me even after my year. The training never stops.
So that's helpful.
Yeah.
That's real helpful.
So it's like the problems come in with like how you manage the money, and then the weight of the work that comes with it. Because sure, I do make a lot. I have great benefits. I have flexibility to do a lot. Like the fact that I can pick up, like I just go. My PTO.
I
couldn't do that job because I wouldn't. This is very lenient. I would never be at work.
It's like, you're ever gonna come back to me? Bitch, I'm in Cancun. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
But see, that's the thing. That's how they get you, though. It's like, not that they
have to discipline yourself.
Yeah. But unlimited PTO is like, you gotta think about it. Like, you still won't get nothing out of it. Like you get the benefits of like not being able to like, oh, I don't feel like going today. But like when you leave that company, you ain't getting no PTO money. Like you just going to the level now. I'm going to the level. But that's only downfall. But other than that, like, and
I wouldn't even necessarily count that as like the benefit in the company itself is like just so grand. Like I said, is one of my biggest things when I was looking for a role, and especially being in tech, looking for a job, is that, you always kind of hear in school, you probably not going to like your manager, or it's always going to be folks that you don't like or want to work with. It's going to suck, or you're going to have to work these ungodly hours to keep up with stuff. And so when I interviewed for this role and everybody was like all peachy clean, and they all happy about the company, I'm like, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Like, it seemed too good to be true.
Right. Like, when they sent me, like, because they reached out to me to apply for the role. And that's a benefit of being in the organizations, because I was in an organization that they sponsor for. My resume was in the system. It got pinged there, and that's how I got pulled in. So that's a benefit in the organizations. But they reached out to me, and I'm like, I ain't heard of y'all. I don't know if this man right here is real, the recruiter. So I'm looking into all that and like I'm interviewing and I'm just like, this is
It's giving scam.
Yeah, it was giving scam and I was like I'm stalking everybody. I'm looking everybody up. I got the offer and I'm like, I still don't believe it. It's like I see us all in the news and everything and it's like, I don't know, because this is a little too easy. I only went for 2 jobs when I got ready to graduate. Mm-hmm. And this one offered more and the other one was moving slower. So it was like, they obviously want me. They offer me more money. I'm going to do it. And it's worked out great. Like, they treat us great. I don't have to be micromanaged. Like, I get my work done. Mm-hmm. Is your work getting done? Yes. Are you being effective? Yes. Do you need time to do some personal stuff? Okay. It's not impacting your work. Like, my computer's closed over there. Nobody's checking to see if my dot's green. You know? So it's like I have that room to breathe. But also, like, if anybody knows me, you know, I have that anxiety of, you know, I'm a procrastinator. I will procrastinate last minute. It'll be, you know, I'm finna get ready to go on the call and they don't ask me to get something together and I'm sitting there, you know, doing it real quick. And so it's like I kind of have that anxiety of like, they're not checking on me, but if they ask for it, like, is it going to be right? Is it going to be good?
Right.
But see, that's the benefit of having a good company too, because you want to do the work for them. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not an entrepreneur person. I don't want to own none of my own stuff. I work for the man. Man give me paycheck. I take my days off.
Nah, fuck all that. Fuck all that. If you want some real money, come in this Forex game. We out here doing what we need to do. Y'all lame. Y'all ain't got this money. We train every day. Every day. Get 2 people to come with you and your membership is free.
I can't. I miss
those people so much. They were so
They
aggressive.
all just
They were so aggressive.
I know.
What happened to them?
It became the fight.
They trying to break in tech. That's where they at. They like, oh, shit, I work in tech.
Yeah, that is. But, I mean, yeah, I have that. I put the pressure on myself. I can't say it's for everybody else. Obviously, like, there's a motivation of, like, I get paid for this. I can afford this big house, these cars. I send my kids to private school. Like, that's like a motivator. But I also feel like when you have a really good company culture, like, that's really important to look for when you're interviewing for places. Mm-hmm. Because the company culture, bro, I'd be happy to go to work. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, if they tell me, you know, well, wait, let me try to pick something. Like, we have a flexible work thing. So when COVID hit, they made the promise of, like, nobody's going to get laid off, whatever. But also, you know, you work from home. We don't have offices everywhere. And so, like, even now, I don't have an office here in Georgia, so I work remote anyways. And I travel to my customers and stuff. But I was near an office in Texas. They wasn't forcing me to come in the office. I didn't have to. You know, that meant I was working at home. That meant I got a stipend. Or if I had been there before, I would have gotten a stipend to build out a home work environment. Mm-hmm. Get you a desk. Get you some monitors so you're comfortable at home. I started after the pandemic.
I would have made a whole production studio.
A little laptop in the head.
Trying to tell you.
Said work.
Yeah, I would have been in that bit looking like ATL Jacob.
They give you the stipend and it's like, you know, make sure you're comfortable at home. You're not forced to come in, you know. And even like I started, and it was still the midst of the pandemic, folks were still working at home or whatnot. I got a kit shipped to me. Like, I didn't have to go in the office to pick mine up. If I was, like, really, really COVID conscious, mm-hmm. I could have just locked myself in my apartment.
Yeah, that's dope.
I still had to move to Texas, but I could have locked myself in my apartment and been in there. They gave me a monitor. They set me up with, like, any the keyboard, all that stuff, you know, whatever. But it's, like, the fact that you make sure your workers are comfortable with where they work. Mm-hmm. That means people can, you know, be at home with their kids if they can't go to school and stuff like that. They can stop and go pick their kids up. And even so, like, they know working from home, stuff can get a little bit more expensive. I also get a stipend every year that I can spend on almost anything. Mm. Like, I can use it's like for wellness. Anything for wellness. If it's going to make me feel good.
That bottle of Barefoot Shutter Home.
No, they take us to happy hour for that.
Feel good.
She said they take them to happy hour.
Yes. We were...
It's free.
Somebody pays for it.
She ain't.
That's a benefit. Like, we don't have to do, like, you get into tech sales. Like, sales is, any type of sales is going to be like that. Because sales is part of the product, the relationships, and some schmoozing. Yeah. You know? People buy from who they like. And that's why it's like, it's important for the team to be, you know, personable. Like, if we get along, you know, we can get along with other folks. Obviously, everybody not always going to like everybody. That's not, you know, that's impossible. Yeah. But when you it's different talking business over just a table or just over Zoom than it is with, let me take you out to lunch or let's go to dinner. Or, let's go to a happy hour, everybody get together, now let's mix and mingle. Oh, now we have a personal relationship kind of built up. So when we come back and we talk business, they're a little bit more comfortable and they can tell me more about the issues they're having in their network so I can understand better how we can help them. But they also, they trust the sales portion of all of our stuff more so too. Mm-hmm. They don't think we trying to scam on them and force them to buy more than what they need. So yes, we do happy hours and stuff like that. And it's to boost the relationships. It's to get together and it's to talk tech. Mm-hmm. Like we'll do lunch and learns where it's like, sure, I'm paying for your lunch, but I'm also teaching you something. Yeah. I'm giving you a lesson over something that's happening in the security realm.
I bought lunch and we're learning. Shout out to Club Crackers too. She's gonna eat them too. Thank you.
I don't know how the bag opened upside down, but it's okay.
So so Zemi, what would you think you'd be good in the tech space? Because there's non-technical roles and there's technical roles.
I think for me, I would have to start non-technical just because I have very minimal knowledge on that kind of stuff. Like I said, when people ask what you do, something with computers. I have no idea. I don't know. She calling out abbreviation for stuff I've never heard of.
We just know ABC.
So I have to start non-technical, but I feel like if I was given the opportunity, then I would be willing to learn that way I can maybe eventually move to more technical roles.
That's the way to do it. I went through there were some people who came to the academy. They started off in non-technical roles, and we do career changes. That's part of the acceptance of the academy is a career change. They started off somewhere else in the company, whether it was interning somewhere in the company or whatever. We had one. There was a role I actually sent to you, but it wasn't local. It wasn't local. But again, I told you I have an account manager who does the sales side of my stuff. Now my account manager, think about him. He's very technical. He has a technical background. He did it the other way around, where he went to tech and everything, and he went to be in SC, the role that I do now. And then he decided he preferred to do sales. He wanted to be more on the sales side, so he flipped it. But I know one guy, he started off on the sales side, not as an account manager, but there's another role that's similar where they kind of bring us customers and stuff who we may not have talked to before, or they find opportunities that we haven't seen. And they know about our products, not on a level that I do, but they know enough to just, oh, okay, if they hear them say this, okay, then this might be something that might be good for them, and they know to bring them to me at that point. And now we can talk to it a level deeper. And if they want to get into the weeds, I got somebody who know more than I do. And if they want to get into the roots, it's somebody who know more than they do. We work it out. But that role alone, it's you can work from that where you handling all these customer sets or whatever, just looking for the opportunities to move up into an account manager role or go straight from that to an SE role if you decide you want to be more technical. But that's the thing too. And I can't speak it for everywhere, but tech does have a lot of room for growth. You can change, you can move around in your company and do all sort of different stuff. Even if you go into HR, you can leave HR and go to marketing,
I can just get my foot in the door. That is it. That is it.
There's the flexibility. That is the thing, is getting the foot in the door. And it sucks to say it helps knowing somebody. It does help knowing somebody, but that's why I say, it's good to get involved. Find a mentor. We be so willing to mentor. I mentor right now.
You acting like this is income tax check and you got about 6 kids, you about to get about 20 bands out of this shit.
I'm big on, because I was mentored a lot. My professors, they mentored me a lot. And it was I would not have done some of the things I did if they didn't mentor me. Right. I told y'all, I got this job through Women in Cybersecurity. I would have never known Women in Cybersecurity existed if my professor had never suggested I apply for a scholarship to go to their conference. So it's if I didn't build that relationship and that mentorship for her to tell me that, I would have never seen it, never known it, would have never known about this job or this company, would have never been sitting here, being able to afford the rent that I got up there, being able to take care of stuff that I take care of.
Yeah, rent?
No.
With my rent.
You can't stand Atlanta rent. That just, don't let me think about it.
That'll be on the next episode. Wow, man, it got me fucked up.
But yeah, it's, mentoring is huge. You get you a mentor, especially they got their foot in the door. They know folks. They talk to folks. Folks know them. It's a community. Yeah. The tech world is not that big. It's not. The cybersecurity world is the same size, maybe smaller, because it's more specific than the tech world. Everybody starts to know each other. Folks who done been in the game for 10, 15, 20 years, they done bounced from all sorts of companies. They worked at, Cisco, and then they were the Google, and they were at Akamai or whatever. They done worked everywhere. They done met all these people. And you meet them in some capacity, whether it's an organization, you reach out on LinkedIn because you like their story, you find some way to get in with them. Now, you also now have access to their network and the knowledge and the experience that they've gotten. I have 2 mentors for sure right now who we have meetings set up regularly where I meet with you and I stress out about all the stuff I'm not understanding or all the stuff I feel like I can't do, and they mentor me through it because they've been there. Yeah. They've been there. They got their foot in the tech door some way. They know how to work that kind of stuff. So it's like you play off of the experiences everybody else has already had, and then you just add more value to it. You getting education from a personal level that's not, you can't find it online. Right. When I sit down with my mentor and I have lunch, we talk about stuff I can't just look up. It's that you build that out, and that'll move, like, your network will move you places. Like, when I say it'll move you places, I literally had the former C-suite of a company, my number 1 company. It was like, that was the other job I was going for before I took this one.
Which is now her number 1.
Yes, they know that. I learned about them after these, so it was like, But, I had a company, because I had worked with this company a lot, just on like a volunteering level and stuff like that. They did a lot for me and my organization. And it's like, I have a former C-suite of that company who's now a C-suite in another company who is more than willing to pick up the phone and be like, I told her I hadn't applied for a job yet. She's like, why not? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm scared, I don't feel prepared. She's like, you got till Tuesday to put your application in. She texts me Tuesday afternoon. She texts me that Tuesday, like she had put it in her calendar, and all she said was, did you apply yet? And I said, yeah, I sent it in yesterday. And she was like, okay. She said okay, and not even 10 minutes later, I had an invite in my email for an interview.
Ooh, so it was. Yes, ma'am.
But that's that connection, that's that network, and it's like, I hate to say, that's like one of the golden ways to get in is knowing somebody. But I mean, like, that network is good for getting in, growing, changing, making them career changes and stuff. It's good for the guidance because, like I said, it's not easy. Like, there's just so much stuff happening. There's so much stuff to consider, especially in cyber, because it's like you can go into networking, and networking is almost it's not changing. Yeah. The fundamentals are there. There might be some advancements, but the fundamentals are there. But cybersecurity takes into account networking. It takes into account project management and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different backgrounds, but you get the help to kind of learn that footing and stuff. And as you hit new things, you keep the mentor to, you walk through stuff. And the mentors love it. I mean, if they're mentoring, it's because they love it. They won't mentor you if they don't feel like you have it in you. And I know that because I've had mentors. I've seen people lose mentors where the mentor is like, you're not putting the energy in. Mentoring is if we going about just ways to get in, like just recapping that part, 'cause that's a huge part. Take the initiative to learn some stuff on your own. YouTube has everything in the world you could ever use. Even in the role we YouTube and we Googling and stuff, has everything. Learn the fundamentals, learn the basics. The certifications are not bad. It's just certifications are going to depend on what you're trying to do. Like, if you know specifically, like, I want to go to this company, they do X, Y, and Z, so if I have this, and this, that puts me a leg up with them, then okay, that's different. Do it, But if you just, like, in general, you just want to get some experience and stuff, I mean, do them if you want to. The content is good. There's a lot of them with really good content. It's a good way to learn. Mentoring, having a mentor in some type of technical organization is an amazing way because they're all connected. Like I said, the tech world is small. Mm-hmm. They're all connected. They all talk, and they'll know what might be the next, best move for you. So get a mentor, work through it with them. Ask them, one-on-one, like, what's the guidance, what they think you should do, where you should go, and whatnot. And then, I mean, there are academies. Like, my job is not the only one that has an academy. You might want to just look them up and find them. I came across mine, so I feel like I can't really. There's nowhere that just says, boom, here's a list of these academies, which honestly I'm probably wrong, and there probably is.
They probably on the Googles.
Yeah, it's probably on the Googles. I just didn't know. I didn't know that was a thing when I got ready to do it.
Okay.
That's why I was like, is this real? Because I have never heard, oh yeah, we're going to hire you for a job that is training and educational for a year just to move you into something else. Gotcha. I'm like, why would you not just hire me for the job and then train me? But those academies are there. Those kind of training centers are there, especially in cybersecurity. So I look for those. If you do want more of a stable, I got a certificate, diploma, whatever, go get a 2-year program, an associate or something. Do the 2-year. That's good fundamentals and good basics.
I would say it does teach you a lot. I learned so much within the 2-year span of something that you can actually physically touch and physically do. Like, I was doing command lines. And a lot of people who don't know what command lines is literally getting into like the computer and actually like changing things and making things happen with the switch and the router. So like they're actually giving you actual technical things that you can do, stuff like that. Now the money, that fast food can get a little hard. But other than that, it's a good step.
It's still better than a 4-year. Cause I mean, I did full 4 years.
Because you had to do core classes. And
and it's like my actual IT classes could have been 2 years.
Right.
Everything else was core and the electives and all that stuff. So. Yeah, them 2-year programs, they go leaps and bounds.
Yeah, they do it, and then they have programs, like, I know if you have problems doing CompTIA, like learning stuff by yourself, they have boot camps that's like literally a week, and then they give you a voucher, and then you can literally just take the test and hope to pray that you make it. Now, the be like $2,000, $3,000 to do these things, but if you got the funds, and make it run.
But I say, think about it though, like that's $2,000 to $3,000. You can still get some type of loan for that. Whether you don't do a personal loan, but I'm not a financial advisor, so I am not a financial advisor. This is not official financial advice.
How you put a disclaimer at the end?
Because they gonna be like, I can do this.
Exactly, no. But I mean, there are ways because like you can get private educational loans to cover that $2,000 or $3,000 for that course, or however you get the money for it. But think about you do $2,000 or $3,000, get that. You get a job that starts you at 6 figures or close.
And you make your money back within that first paycheck. So.
Right. And you never going to see less than that.
Yeah.
So it's like, it pays off. It'll pay off.
So I guess the result of this episode is that tech doesn't have you fucked up, but getting in does. So
you better know somebody and put in the work.
You better know somebody. You better
study.
Get on neighbor.
Get on Google.
Yes.
Get on Google.
You're going to be studying for forever. If you want to get into tech, you never stop learning. You will always study. You were always in school. You were always a student. It never ends.
It sounds like you hurt.
I literally have a meeting that is me being a student. Like, that's happening this afternoon, so.
Well, we're going to let her get back to work. And then you got anything else you want to say?
Oh, no, I just enjoyed this. It's very insightful.
Yes. This is probably going to be an hour long, so this is
She going to cut it.
I'm going to cut the hell out of this thing. But anyway,
Wait, before you end it, I just want to say, Shop Supreme Being Fashion.
They got links or anything?
Yeah, they do. I sent her the link.
And also for like other resources that she may have think in her head, we'll put it down in the link in the bio on it, in the bios and stuff like that. So, yeah, man. Also, one thing, please on our podcast, go on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff, and rate our podcast. So see if it's helpful. It also grows our channel. If you go like our videos on YouTube at Why Like I Mean at the podcast. But yeah, man. So thank y'all so much. Jamil, you got any Instagrams you want to show, or you want to be private about your shit? What's going on?
I'm a private person.
Well, she private about her shit, so you know what I'm saying. If you wanna hit her up, you can email.
Reach out to her and she'll reach out to me.
So send a letter to me. Hit me up at Yo Gabba Gabba Juice on Instagram, and I'll literally relay any messages towards her.
My Instagram just complicated.
Yeah, she econ Negro, so she low. Zemi, you already know Zemi underscore 18. You already know I got you. And so yeah, man. Remember, don't let anyone have you effed up. Have a good day.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah, water good, ain't it?